to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
Well, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell us what you're doing now.
The Voice 2025, we're spreading awareness for mental health.
And that's really good because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, so we're coming out of that. And so tell us what was the vision behind all of this?
I think the vision behind all of it is just to create a space where people can feel comfortable and learn. We're going to have a panel Q&A. So we're going to have mental health advocates that can answer questions that people may have about how to cope with mental health in healthy ways rather than medicine, if that makes sense. And really just bringing people together to remind each other that it's nothing to be ashamed about. I think mental health affects everybody, women, men as well, even kids. So that's really like the main focus on this event, and just shedding light on things like that.
How did you all guys become all together? Like, this is what we're going to do, this is our passion, this is what we're going to all come together for this.
So Hannah reached out to me actually just to perform. I'm a singer, so I was like, I'm super down to perform at the show. And then we talked a little bit, and she was like, you know, I would really love for you to be a part of the behind the scenes and actually planning the event. I was a little bit scared at first because I've never done anything like that before, but we all are like a little family just that quick. We were just working together and getting to know each other and working as a team.
And then where did you come into all of this?
That was me, huh?
No, definitely. So there is a lack of male representation in terms of mental health.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's like we're overlooked a lot. You know, we're so tough all the time. It's very hard to distinguish when somebody's going through it. And, you know, I'm a spokesperson, representative of that.
I dragged him in.
Definitely.
I was like, Jordan, you are the perfect person. Like he said, we need that male representation. Not that we couldn't do it, all of us girls, but we want men to feel seen as well. So I think it helps having a male represent what it is to, you know, talk about mental health, be open about it, and not feel like it's something to be ashamed of.
Not at all.
Yeah, I think that's something a lot of men deal with, is feeling like they can't really express themselves because, like he said, they're supposed to be tough all the time.
Well, especially in the Black community, huh? Isn't that like, it's really like taboo, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. Especially, it's like our only outlets is usually sports. Yeah. That's our only way to, especially you work in a gym sometimes, so you understand when you hear somebody grunting, groaning, moaning. It's like, even myself, when I train my clients, I'm like, it's okay to cry. Like, I have to tell them, I was like, this is a safe space, this is a safe place where it's like we're therapists too when we're trainers. So sometimes we need to give them that, and it doesn't ever happen.
And going back to being in the gym, that's another thing that we're going to be talking about at the event as well.
That's really, I'm so glad you guys are incorporating that, because I think that's the missing step sometimes in some of these groups.
Yeah. For me, I always tell my friends and family, like, gym is literally my therapy. Not that therapy is bad, but it's so healing for me just to move your body, take care of your body. I think it all ties into mental health, because there's days I'm feeling sad, not feeling too well. I might not even want to go to the gym, and I push myself there, and then afterwards I'm like, wow, this feels good. I feel better. I feel like I just decompress just by moving, which I feel like is definitely a healing thing for people experiencing mental health issues.
What about my two beautiful ladies back there?
Oh, yeah. I definitely can also relate to that, being that I came from Nigeria, so immigrating from Nigeria.
How long have you been here?
Almost 5 years now. So, and I remember when I just got here, it was quite a challenge for me adjusting to this great, nation, and, kind of intimidation at first because of my accent, incorporating that into this nation was kind of hard. When I talk, people look at me like, oh, what are you saying? Can you please speak faster and all of that? And that really almost affected my self-esteem, But I had to work on myself so hard to just get off that shell and, put myself out there and believe more in myself. So I think that everyone can actually relate to issues surrounding mental health. And that's what we're doing, The Voice 2025.
Well, I'm Jasmine. I'm actually very passionate about spreading awareness about mental health. I believe we need to create more spaces and more healing environments where we can talk about this openly and accept it for what it is. And I'm just very grateful to be here in this time space with such beautiful souls, such wise souls. And I think as we embark on this journey of love, to cultivate love and awareness for for ourselves and others.
What's everybody's background? Because you kind of just got brought in here, not even to be the healing bird, to like help people, and you kind of have a whole new way. So I kind of know how you got brought in. How did the rest of you guys all come together? I'd like to know a little bit about your background that brought you to here. So we can go with you first, Jordan. Like, how did you come into?
So being a trainer, we kind of hold a lot of different hats. So training a lot of clients, I'm the therapist, I'm the doctor, I'm the best friend, I'm the brother, or sometimes like the uncle to most of my clients, and I'm usually having to coach through their mental issues while trying to get to their goals.
I'm just like you, so I notice this, and I hate this. I don't want anyone to have a bad day, but when anyone's angry, they have the best workout. Do you notice that? Like,
yes, it is. It's not always just the pre-workout. Not just.
And so you came in. So how did you meet everybody? I want to know who knew. I know you.
Modeling.
Okay, so you knew him, and you're like, hey, I'm embarking on this.
We met. Yeah, modeling. We were both modeling in a fashion show, and he was part of the male model crew, and we connected, and I just really vibed with his personality, his energy, and I just reached out to him, and I was like, this is the event that we're having, this is what it's about, and I would just love for you to be a part of the team. And he said yes. I was so happy.
And that's why you guys have just such a great message. I think everyone's watching it just like that I have beautiful models. They're like, who are all these beautiful people? But yes, but now you guys have a message.
Yeah.
You're more than just a pretty face.
Yeah. Definitely.
So how did you get involved?
Yes, so I got the vision for The Voice 2025 when I was going through like a meltdown in my life. So
were you here or were you over there?
I was here actually. So, and I reached out to like a mentor of mine, and she kind of like started talking to me, like motivating me, trying to get me out of that spot. And then I realized how powerful the voice, helped me to get off those, that moment. And so I said to myself, wow, if this voice of this woman can help me so much to get out from the spot that I found myself in, how much more this can help people at large, other people at large, to cope with whatever they're dealing with. So the voice came to me, and that's how that, started off. And then I started reaching out to people, because I know that you can't do nothing much without a team. I started talking to my friends, Zarina, Sam, Jasmine, and then we came together as a family. All I needed to do was to share the vision with them, and things just went, fast from there, and this is where we are today doing this, and I'm so very excited to be here right now.
So you mentioned some of it was like just kind of being an outsider, just kind of having to start over in America. What were some of the other struggles that you faced?
Yes, I'm a mom of two. I have 2 girls, 3 and 1, so I have to deal with postpartum. Oh my goodness, being far away from home without my family, because there's a certain way, there's a tradition we have over there in Nigeria for new mom. When you have a baby newly, the community, especially your family, they surround you.
They say it takes a village.
Yeah, you actually do nothing as the mother. Your family comes and do all the chores for you. Yes.
Amazing.
Exactly. I need to move over there. Wow.
So, they just make it easier for you to be a mom. But finding myself here without my family was really hard, because in America, everybody's busy. So it's hard to, have someone help you. So that was really tough for me. I had to face that by myself. And I gave birth through C-section. You can imagine how tough that was. And I had no help. Man, I went into depression real quick. Yeah, that was really tough. I'm
so glad that you guys were. That's what we I know it's up to what you're comfortable opening about your struggles, but we really all have similar struggles. So I love when you guys can tell us like what's going on, so the more people are comfortable and like, well, yeah, that's exactly it, and that'd be terrifying.
It was terrifying, Sparkle.
Did you guys tell us a little bit about your background?
So I was actually born here, but I grew up in an Indian family, Punjabi and Persian to be exact, and I just believe that everyone does struggle with mental health, but me specifically, if I can allow myself to be completely vulnerable, I think from a young age, the way that people of color, the way that we kind of carry ourselves and the things that we bring onto our children kind of affects us. So coming from that background of coming from India, I had different upbringings and different ways of like living. We weren't allowed to, especially as a woman, we weren't allowed to wear and even laugh out loud and stuff like that. So I kind of grew up in a very reserved space. And being born here, you know, being in America, you're supposed to be completely free, as you know, that's what's the whole American dream is about.
But your parents are from there, so you had you're still like kind of like half there. Your parents weren't acclimated fully here yet, so you had to deal with that, huh?
Yes, actually they were all fully there, and I had to be all fully there. Like I wasn't really allowed to be present in here because it was all about control. It was all about all of that. So, and how that affects your mental health and your expression just as a person is immensely important.
That is a really interesting background, Persian and Indian. So what do they think, what's your relationship like with them now that you're like out of your shell and you kind of came away from a little bit of what you learned from them? How does that work?
So I actually now have completely detached myself from that. I mean, I love my culture. I love all of the things that have come with it. I believe the roots are so deep. But to just allow yourself to be a full expression and to be free, I feel like that's what we're truly meant to do. Although from my parents, it was something very, very, very difficult. I'm not going to say. I struggled a lot with it. I still struggle with it because still kind of trying to just explain to them how it's okay to just be this way living in America, or it's they don't understand that.
I totally understand. I come from a similar background, so it's like that's really, I know that's got to be a real big struggle because you're having to navigate so much there. So you guys, I love that you guys come from so many different backgrounds because that's really going to help the people you're trying to help.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about this event and people that want to get involved with it, how we can all get involved and come together in that.
So the event, number one, is a pay what you can. That's one of the things that I'm really excited about. So we're going to be donating to different nonprofits. We're still deciding on which ones, but everyone is welcome. If they can pay a $1 ticket, 50 cents, $10, whatever they want to do, they're welcome to come. We're going to have vendors that are mental health focused, wellness. We're going to even have a sound bath to start off, which I think will really set the tone and the energy. We're going to have different speakers. I myself will also be speaking. We're going to have a fashion show to celebrate culture and things like that.
That's why we have all these beautiful people here.
Yes. So it's going to be a really amazing event. I can just tell. I feel it. I think we're going to be able to reach a lot of people and
when's
touch
the
them.
date?
February 16th. At Elite Venue Center.
I love that. That's really cool. How big is it?
It's pretty big.
I don't know if I've ever been there.
They have weddings there, so it's.
Where is it? Downtown or in?
Fig Garden Loop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And then, like, is it? How long is it? It's like day.
It's from 1 to 4 p.m.
1 to 4, so it goes for 3 hours. That's really cool. And what's the age group?
There's no age limit. I believe, did we talk about 18 and up?
We talked about 13.
13 and up.
Oh, that's really cool.
13 and up, because we don't want to exclude the teenagers. I feel like, personally, I know when I was a teenager, that's when my mental health really started declining.
Yeah, Jasmine knows that. And I feel for you growing up with those parents trying to be like cool in America, like in the teen years. Oh my God.
And me and Jasmine have similar backgrounds because my mom was born in India and my dad is black. So in both cultures, mental health is like, what is that? That's taboo.
Right.
I remember I had a really, really tough time in high school and I was self-harming and things like that. And I told my dad, I was like, I think I need to see a therapist. Like, I think I need to talk to someone. And he literally looked at me and he was like, people are going to think you're crazy.
Oh my gosh, I can relate so much to that. That is, I almost had like a conversation about that today. But that's really like the mentality still for like the baby boomer generation. And then I think too, and I've heard before, it's like when you come from such strong cultures like that, the blacks never fully accept you because the Indians never fully accept you because you're black. So you're really in this weird limbo where you're never fully embraced and you have to find your own like way to own it.
Exactly. I did not fit into any group when I was in high school. my black friends were like, "Oh no, you're not black. You are whitewashed." And then the Indians were like, "You don't even speak the language."
Oh,
Like, I don't know what to do. But also, I am a mom. I have a 3-year-old, and I think, like Hannah was saying, postpartum is really something that's not talked about enough. I mean, even if you think about maternity leave, they give you a few months and it's like, okay, get back to work. When in reality, it takes like a whole year for your hormones to get back to normal, for your body to get back to normal. I personally was like, I've never had a kid before. I don't know what to do. I did not have a village. So it was definitely very, very hard. I felt like I was in a dark space.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's so many moms out there that can relate.
I'm really glad you guys said that, because that is one of those things that's now talked about now, and then you get these people like, well, people have been having kids forever, and this is, people will tell you like how things are supposed to be, but then you're living it, you're like, okay, well, that's not my experience right now. I'm going off of what I'm told I'm supposed to feel, what I'm supposed to do, but this is what's happening. So how did you guys finally reach out and talk to people about this?
I think it's just, you have to break those generational curses, really. Just enough is enough, and it's going to end with me. I'm not going to pass on that childhood trauma to my kid as my parents did to me, which is every day it's a journey. Every day, if you think about back then, I feel like our parents, they were like, our kids have a roof over their head, they're fed, they go to school, that's it. That's all that they're worried about. And now this generation, you have gentle parenting and things like that. Like, we're really trying to be conscious because we are tired of the trauma that's continuing to be passed on from generation to generation. So for me, I'm like, no, that's enough. I want to be everything that my parents were not to me. Now it's like, I'm not just worried, oh, my kid is fed, he has a roof over his head. I'm like, did I yell at him? Did I raise my voice? Did I play? Did I read to him? Like, all of those things. And I love to see that there's other moms out there that are really focused on that as well.
So it's The Voice 2025. This is your first big event launching. What are some of the things that you guys have done up until this point?
We have had meetings. We're reaching out to vendors to see who would like to be a part of the event. We're reaching out to mental health advocates that are willing to speak. I have a couple people that have already agreed to participate.
Is there anybody you could share? I know a lot of things are in flux, but is there anybody that you want to talk about that's coming?
At this moment, I would say no. Okay. I'm going to be speaking about my story. I've been through a lot. I was in foster care when I was in high school.
Really?
Yeah, I experienced sexual assault when I was at Fresno State. And even things like that, I feel like is a taboo kind of thing. Happens all the time. And I remember telling my mom, like, what happened to me? She was like, well, you were somewhere you weren't supposed to be. And I'm like, wait a second. I know that I'm not an adult, but I'm pretty sure that's not the response that I should be getting.
I'm so glad you guys are saying these things, because these are really things that are still happening. It's funny because everyone thinks that we've progressed as a society, which we have, but our parents are still stuck in these other generations, especially culturally. So I'm so glad that you're coming to light and being like, because I think that that's a response, that a lot of our parents would tell us.
Yeah. Right. And going along with the question you asked, we have a speaker. She's a motivational speaker, owner and founder of Speed Success.
Okay.
Yeah. She was the one that mentored me when I was going through, the tough time I had. And she's going to be a speaker. She's a very powerful woman.
Great. We get your mentor.
Yes, you get my mentor. Yolanda Speed, that's her name, and she'll be there. And I believe that the participant there would really, really glean from a wealth of knowledge, especially when it comes to mental health.
Oh, I love that, because she helped you. So that's really awesome. You have like an actual experience to be like, hey, this woman has something to bring.
Exactly.
So, Jordan, what's some of your traumas that you can relate to?
Honestly, I trained and I got into physical fitness specifically because of trauma. Growing up, I got bullied so bad, and it's like my parents are a little different. My parents are older than most.
Were you scrawny? Why'd you get bullied? You're like, I wouldn't be afraid to bully you right now. Or because your parents were older.
My parents are really old, so everybody thought my parents were my grandparents all my life. So in high school, middle school even, my parents were like close to being senior citizens, if they weren't. Like, my mom's 68 right now, my dad would be 78. So
How old are you?
I'm 26, 27.
Oh my gosh, you're so nice. I love that. Okay.
Yeah, so like, growing up in school, like for example, I got jumped by kids as a kindergartner my first year in school by sixth graders, by eight sixth graders. It was like traumatizing to me because I didn't know anything, and where I lived, we moved from where all my friends were, and we moved into Fowler, and I was the only kid on my block at the time. So when I actually did enroll into school, I'm thinking it's gonna be fun. I'll meet other kids that look like me. I'm gonna enjoy myself, and then to have experiences like that and then constantly getting picked on now, that's kindergarten. I kind of dealt with that all the way up until high school. And to the point to where my freshman year of high school is like I was so muscular because in my head I thought I was going to prison. It's like if I dealt with this all these years and had all these problems growing up.
Wow, you were actually gearing up.
Yeah, no, I was preparing myself mentally. So it's like when I played sports, it was not me trying to have fun. It was me trying to prove a point. If I can be the best athlete, if I can be the strongest, if I can be the fastest, then these kids will leave me alone.
No one's gonna mess with you.
They'll accept me. And then it took me until, to be honest, I didn't feel comfortable in my skin until college. I was a freshman in college when I first was told that my skin was beautiful. That was the first time I've ever heard that. You know, so it's like to hear people talk about me, make fun of me, and just how I look, my muscles were the only thing that got me through high school. Otherwise, it's like it was always somebody talking. So I take the point in trying to get a job where I can help people the way that I didn't get help. The way that I was overlooked, I make a point not to overlook those. So it's like when I'm training women, I'm like, I want you to feel the best and be the best. When I'm training young men, it's tell me what you want to be and I'm gonna help you get there. It's like, and a lot of the time it's a mindset. It's like the coaching comes in the training, but the training comes from you believing in yourself. And it took all these years to get that for myself. So now it's just pushing that and trying to cultivate that in others.
Wow.
That's really powerful. And I mean, it did work because no one's going to mess with you anymore.
I wouldn't mess with you.
The mission worked, but it's really cool to see like how you mentally and physically prepared yourself.
Yeah.
What do your parents think about all this now when you tell them?
Oh my gosh.
Because they probably didn't know what you were going through any of that at the time.
Fun fact, my dad was a Navy SEAL.
Ooh.
So my dad was very militant, very, very militant. And being that, like for example, and I know a lot of people can't say this, but on my dad's side, I have great grandparents that were slaves.
Wow.
You know, so and then
you know how far back it goes.
Yeah, so it's like just hearing stories about that is like my experience with that is different coming from parents that grew up in that era where they were the first kids, the first black kids to go to integrated school, you know, so hearing these stories and aunties and uncles, and it's just that generation gap. I grew up with a lot of wisdom, so me being older than most kids, or mentally older than most kids when I'm going to school.
That's why I thought you were older, because you're mentally older. You look young, but I mean, I think it is a like
I get that a lot.
Okay.
I get that a lot, but that's where it comes from and originates from. So it took me some time to realize that I was okay as a person. I wasn't weird because I felt or didn't relate to certain things. It's like in time growing up, I realized that's what wisdom is. And it took a lot of people around me to uplift me, to bring that mental confidence in me to feel good about myself besides me working out and trying to look good.
I'm right there with you with that. Rosa Parks is in my family tree.
Really? That's really cool.
Yeah.
How'd you find that out? Did you do it one of those tests?
No, my grandfather showed me pictures of them. Yeah, so same thing. You know, I had in my family tree, a lot of them were slaves as well. My grandparents came from Alabama and Arkansas. And so I feel like my dad, he was born in the 60s, so it's a whole different kind of mentality. Growing up, he would always tell me, he goes, you were born with 2 strikes against you. You're black and you're a woman. And I never really understood what he meant by that until I got a little bit older. But now I'm 28 years old and I'm like, I don't want to see those as strikes against me, because I feel like that's a blessing. I feel like I bring something to the table. I have something to say. And being a woman, for a man, maybe that might be something that's like, oh, you're inferior. But no, I feel like we as women are the most powerful creatures Not anything against it. But hey, you were born from a woman. But yeah, that generation, they just have a different type of mentality. And I think growing up with parents who experience those types of struggles, as a mom now, I feel like you have a choice. You're either going to repeat those mistakes or you're going to learn from them. And I would ask my dad, like, well, why would you discipline me in this way if you didn't like that your parents disciplined you in this way? He never had an answer.
Wow.
That's just how
type of toughness.
you know. I'm like, we're in this century, and I'm a kid, and you're saying go pick the switch off the tree. I'm like, what is going on? You know?
We still were the spanking days, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm afraid to even use my hand on my baby, let alone a switch or a belt or anything like that. But it was a tough time for me growing up. I was bullied as well. I got into the gym similarly because after I was sexually assaulted, I told myself I will never ever be in a position again where I cannot fight somebody off of me. And because of that, I was obsessively in the gym, like twice a day, 3 times a day. Before COVID, when GB3 was open till midnight, or 24 hours, I'm sorry, I was there at 3 a.m, like, just because I couldn't sleep. I'm like, I need to go get to the gym. And as much as I feel that being active is healthy, you definitely have to ask yourself, what is your why? And I feel like it wasn't really healthy for me at that time, the way I was so obsessive about my body and how much I can lift and how strong I was. Versus now when I go in the gym, I'm like, this is for me. This is for my mental health. This is what keeps me happy and healthy. And I care about my body, not just my appearance, but my health as well. But it was definitely a transition getting from there to this.
I'm so glad you guys were saying about like how your parents, I'm glad you bring that up about their generation, everything that's going on. Was it hard for you to tell your family about your struggles? Because like you're saying, you guys have slavery. So don't you feel like, yeah, some kids jump me, but it's nothing like being a slave. So should I even tell them like that? Obviously what I'm going through now is nothing what they went through. Does it get hard to like kind of really say that because you're worried about the backlash? Like do you ever feel like it's like, oh, I shouldn't, their problems are worse, I shouldn't say that? Because I hear people say that and it's like all of our problems are valid. And some of us are going to have really high highs and very low lows that other people don't understand. So what was it like communicating that, hey, my struggles might not be as bad, or what yours, but they're still bad? How did you guys explain that?
I can't even do it still. I don't communicate.
Well,
it's hard.
Okay.
You can say it. All you have is to say it.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about, my own background a little bit, especially when it relates to my parents. So just like Jasmine, I come from a family space whereby I was raised to be quiet, don't talk, and my parents are very strict religiously, and I was taught that, when you're bold, you're presumptuous, that's it. So don't talk even when you have things to communicate, expressions that you want to, put out there. You're not allowed to talk about it then, because it means you're proud, it means negativity, that's what it represents, And so I would always be reserved, not because I am reserved by nature, but because I've been conditioned to be like that. And so it really affected me in school while growing up, because then I didn't know how to express myself. I was telling Zarina the other day that sometimes I have this idea in my head, I can complete a sentence like very smoothly, but when it comes to actually saying it, it's a problem. I start to stutter, I just get confused, I muddle it all
I know
up,
what you mean, yeah.
Just because of that background that I had, so
you're still overcoming that,
and I'm still working on it. It's a journey, but I'm glad that I'm fighting this, and that's why I'm happy to be a part of this, because I know that there's a lot of people out there, especially the young ones, that are struggling with this, and it really affects them. It's a struggle for them. They're in class, they know what to say, but they can't just say it. And so they just go back to their shells, and they feel so stopped, within themselves. It's not a good feeling at all, because I'm 35 years old and I'm still struggling. So how much more those kids? So yeah, so I would say for The Voice 2025, I'm representing those people out there, those that feel intimidated, you know, they have inferiority complex, self-esteem issues, you know, they're dealing with all of that. I represent them. So if I can be here today at this interview doing this, they can do it.
Right.
Yes, it could take a fight, it could take a struggle, but they can do it.
Well, and you're doing good today, and it'll only get better. But and you're right, because communication, it's actually been proven as the most important key in any relationship, any romantic relationship, and work in so many environments. So it's like it's something that whether or not we have to combat it just to be successful in anything that we do. So that's
going
important.
back to what you were saying about like if we feel like, oh well, we might be going through this, but what they have is so much worse. That was something that always bothered me as a kid. My mom, when I would tell her things like, well, there's people that are starving. And I'm like, okay, I know that, but does that mean that my struggles don't matter? And it wasn't until I was in college and I was talking to a therapist, and she said, other people might have it worse, but that doesn't change the fact that you have what you have, and that really resonated with me, because it's not a competition. If we're all struggling, we're all struggling. I'm not
trauma competitions. It's not a winning game.
No, it's not. And I just feel like we just need to be there for each other, hear each other, listen to each other. And there's not a lot of that going on, because like she said, some people don't feel like they have a voice to speak up, especially with their parents, with their family. Till this day, I don't really have a relationship with my family. I was just telling my boss today, like every time the holidays come around, I try not to get depressed, and I get depressed because I see everyone with their families and everyone seems to be loving on each other and having a good time. And here I am feeling like kind of like an outcast in a way. It's very hard, but now that I'm a mom, I just try to focus on, well, now I'm building my own family and I have my son to focus on, and so I try to direct my energy there. But it's still a struggle every day. It's something that I have to talk myself through, and I think it's important to have that positive self-talk, because that negative self-talk, it can really creep up on you.
Right. What do you have to add, Jazz?
It's really crazy that we live in this world and we literally go through the same things. Like, for example, I don't think it's a coincidence. Zarina and I feel like we have a lot of similarities, like coming from an Indian background, being sexually abused, being in foster care, going through really hard struggles alone and not having family to support you in any way at all. And it's insane how the amount of addictions and suicide rates go up just because we're not being heard, we're not being felt, we're not being understood, we don't have compassion for one another. It's all taboo, it's all about be quiet, we're not going to talk about it. Like me personally, whenever I would try to reach out to my family or anybody actually that was from my community, it was like, no, we're not going to talk about that. That's embarrassing. That's your reputation. You're going to mess it up. You're going to mess up our name. You're going to mess up your name.
I still hear that to this day, so I feel you, girl.
It's always about the reputation and how other people are, what they're going to think about it.
And over silly things, too. I mean, so I get you. Like, that's...
For me, it's like, what reputation are you talking about? Because it's like, you're hurting so much. You're living for other people. And what are you living for if you're not living for yourself?
There's no authenticity there.
Exactly.
So it's this reputation of fakeness. It's like,
exactly. And I feel like authenticity is the only thing that we should be embodying. If we're not authentic to ourselves, we're not authentic to other people, we're not being ourselves. And if you're not being yourself, it's like you're completely disconnected from your true nature. If you don't know your true nature, if you don't know who you are, then that's something that's you're in a hole.
I totally agree. You guys are so awesome. Dora, I want to know a little bit more about how your parents are a lot older. You got to communicate. How do you explain bullying to them and all of that stuff that you were going through?
My first time getting bullied at school, I went home and got in a whole lot of trouble because of whose son I am and who I represent and what my name represents to him, my father, my mother, and those who know my father. It's like there's a certain standard that comes with being a family name is Butch. So it's like my dad was known as Butcher. His like military nickname is Butcher. So it's like that even as a kid. So I got a bloody nose and got sent home because my nose wouldn't stop bleeding. And I had to explain to him that I got bullied and they already called him. I got a whooping. I got a whooping
You
because
got double whammied.
Yeah, because like, don't you ever let this happen to you again. The next
Oh my
time,
goodness.
Next time this happens, is like you're gonna have to deal with me. And then from that point on, it's like my dad, military combat, so he started teaching me self-defense. So he said, you have no excuses now. If somebody ever puts their hands on you again, it better get handled. And
well, that's kind of cool. You have permission to kick butt.
well,
I like that part.
yeah, no, definitely. But my mom is very like, they're very yin and yang. To where
Oh
it's
boy,
like,
it's a lose-lose situation when you got that going on.
it's like if my mom is Martin Luther King, my dad was Malcolm X when it came to a lot of things.
Oh my gosh,
so it's like
interesting.
it's always fight back, and then mom is extremely passive. Tell the teacher, do this, do that. So growing up, I was always told that it's like in terms of my feelings and how I felt about the situation, and when things like that, as far as bullying, what happened to me, I wasn't supposed to speak about it because as men and black men at that, regardless of us even being black, a lot of other men are told the same thing. It's like as you get older, our feelings and our emotions are, how do I say this, they matter less. People don't acknowledge them, people don't care about them regardless of your situation, your background, what's going on. You're a man at the end of the day. Our job is to figure it out and be a man. It's like be a big boy when you're a kid. Be a man as you get older. Be a young man and carry yourself like a young man. Don't allow your emotions to get the better of you. So this is where the mental issues in men usually come because we're suppressing it.
Right.
It's like we don't speak on it. We don't talk about it because to us we feel it doesn't matter. And it's like if we start at a young age thinking that it doesn't matter, when you get to be a grown man, you think it never mattered. You know, so what we're doing here is going to bring and shine a lot of light on issues and situations like that, especially in men.
I mean, if you're not sensitive to your own feelings or anything, how are you going to be sensitive to others? So then now all your relationships are going to be messed up because you don't even acknowledge feelings.
A lot of people don't realize the power of having a man in the household, but then also the power of having a woman in the household. Because with that sternness and with that
softness,
you know, I have my mom, you know, for the softness, the empathy. So I'm being taught to be tough and to keep things in, but then I also have my mom to teach me the balance. You know, so it's like it differentiates, and it's like me coaching kids in football or working with kids in athletics. It's like you notice that there's less men in the household, so now you have quite the opposite. You have people that instead of knowing how to control their emotions but not speak on them, you also have young men nowadays that are overly emotional and don't know how to conduct themselves because they're thinking so emotionally. So it's like growing up, I kind of think of it as a blessing now that I'm older that I was taught both sides of the coin instead of just this side to where now I'm over aggressive or this side where I'm overly emotional. So it's like it kind of came full circle for me.
Man, because I got a whooping the first time I got bullied too.
Oh my goodness.
I came home and I'm like, they beat me up, they broke my glasses. They're like, what'd you do? What? No one would just beat you up for no reason.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, right.
I'm like, what? You never.
What did
went
you
to
do?
school?
What did you do to make this happen? Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough. I didn't have that balance. I didn't have a yin and yang. Both of my parents were very strict and very tough. I don't remember if my mom ever like hugged me, things like that. Like she wasn't very like emotional or touchy. And that just made me, growing up, feel like I just couldn't really be myself. I was afraid to talk, afraid to speak up. When things did happen to me, when I got bullied again, I'm like, well, I'm just not going to tell my parents that I got bullied because I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah. That's what would happen.
Yeah.
Where do you guys have an Instagram or Facebook so people can, first of all, you guys are awesome. Do you have anywhere that people can go to ask questions about not only the event, but what you guys do and how they can get involved?
Yeah, we have an Instagram page. It's The Voice 2025. And we've been posting on there. We've been trying to increase our followers and our spread the word.
Everyone has to follow The Voice 2025.
The Voice _ 2025.
The Voice _ 2025.
Underscore. Don't forget that. You might get the TV show.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Yes. You can find us on there. February 16th, 2025, Elite Venue Center from 1 to 4 p.m. I'm really looking forward to that.
Thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Happiness. I was gonna add something.
Oh, go add something.
Okay. So,
Yeah, you can add something.
okay. So, I just want to use this medium to call for volunteers because we're going to be needing volunteers, to set up and break up.
Yes. So anybody that feels from what they heard today want to be a part of it, volunteer for this event. It's only a few hours anyways. It's an afternoon. So come on out. Let's volunteer.
Sponsors also, we need sponsorship,
Sponsors and
donations,
volunteers.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. So call them. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Well, thank you for having me.
I had your sister last week.
Yes, you did. My manager, my road manager.
The roadie, the manager,
She
everything.
is. She is. Yes.
Okay.
I think I fired her in the back, but it's
You
fine.
fired her? Yeah.
We'll be okay in 20 minutes.
So what, you've been singing since you got out of the womb?
Out of the womb, babe. Mom always said they can never get you to shut up. Yeah.
She's loud, so I'm surprised you're the louder one because you're the singer.
Can you believe that? She can sing too. She can sing too. She just acts shy sometimes.
So where do you see? Where can we see you perform?
I am in two projects, actually. I have one band, Lady and the Tramps. That's my big one. We do all the classic 60s, 70s rock and roll.
Oh gosh, that's exactly what I want to hear.
It's fun, babe. We have horns. I think I'm Bruno Mars. It's a lot of fun.
Oh my goodness. So where are you usually perform with that band at?
We
Where
are going to be actually on Sunday, December 1. We're going to be at Fulton 55 for the Toys for Tots drive.
Oh, okay.
There's a beautiful list of actual local bands that are going to be playing. It's a heck of a cause.
I will come out for that. That sounds good.
I love that. We're going to be on around 6:30 or 7:30.
So that's the Lady and the Tramp.
That's the Lady and the Tramps band.
So
I also have Blackstone, which is smaller, just as loud though.
Off the street? Did you name it off the street?
Can you believe that? But no C, no C. Blackstone with no C. This is my smaller band, but on the 19th of December, we will be at Goldstein's Tower.
So what's the difference between this band? What do you guys play? What do you play with this
This one is more
modern?
Las Vegas pool party.
Okay.
Yeah, so Dua Lipa, you got the Britney Spears stuff.
Okay, so
You
not really
also-
horns.
No horns. Not
Okay.
really horns, no. We also throw some 80s stuff in there. It's in excess. It's
And then can we hire you for
everywhere.
parties? So
Of
if we hire
course
you for
you
weddings and
can.
stuff, do you bring what? Or do you sometimes come solo, or you could bring the horn band, or just?
I
what we
can
want?
bring either band you want.
Where can we
Any
contact
band
you for that?
want.
Do you have-
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Facebook and Instagram for Lady and the Tramps Band Fresno, or Blackstone, again, no C, Blackstone, on Facebook.
And what if they just want you?
Instagram and TikTok. If they want me, they can just find Simona Pinedo across all social
All
medias.
everything. Okay.
Yeah. So December 19th at Goldstein's with Blackstone, and then New Year's Eve will be at Howlin' Wolf.
Oh, that's
And
a great place
that's
for
going to be a
horns.
party. So on December 17th, we're going to do a Facebook Live, hand out some, we're going to do a little raffle. Do a little swag bag and some tickets.
What are you giving away? A date with you? I'm
Hello.
I'm there, putting in the raffle.
We'll just spin the ring around for a day. We're gonna do some merch, a couple T-shirts, some hats. Frank, the drummer, Frank Sanchez, has these beautiful custom drum sticks that he's sponsored all over the place. He's just an amazing musician. So he's going to throw a couple of those in the bag, and we're going to hand out a couple more things. I don't know. We haven't decided yet.
I love this outfit. I mean,
Thank you.
This is where the real sparkle comes from. It's like,
thank you.
and
I sparkled for sparkle.
And you're like this at the concerts. I absolutely love that.
Always. Go nowhere without my boots and my short skirts.
So how have you been performing with these bands?
With Lady and the Tramps, I got a call about 8.5 years ago from a friend. He says, remember when I told you my mom was going to retire and I wanted you to sing for her? I'm like, yes, of course, I'll do anything for your mom. He says, okay, good. I need you to perform that night. I said, you want a couple songs? He says, no, we'd prefer a whole band. I says, I don't have a band. And so my husband said, well, I have some old cop buddies. There were active and retired that have a band. They need a singer. I says, well, how serendipitous. So we did that gig
that
together.
Is really cool.
It was so cool. We did that gig together, and then they've been unable to get rid of me since. And then this new one, Blackstone, I've actually known the drummer for 15 years now, but then he had this vision of this project for a couple years, and now just by piecing the members together, it's coming to fruition. So
what's your favorite to sing? What are some of your favorite songs?
Well, I'm a classic rock girly. I was obviously like Janis Joplin.
Oh, I love it.
But then Mom always had in her repertoire all these different artists. So your Aretha Franklins, your Tina Turners. My sister got me on the Madonnas. I had it all. Throwing a little Luciano Pavarotti and Dean Martin. The range was everywhere. So I've just fallen in love with all of those. Amy Winehouse.
Oh, I bet
huge
you
inspiration.
sound amazing doing all. I could see you sing all those things. That's so cool.
I do them all, babe. I try.
So do you have any albums out or anything?
No, nothing
you're just doing
yet. We're tinkering around with the original idea, but for now it's just covers, and it's our spin on the covers. It's just a lot of fun. But once an album comes out, obviously you're first.
I want to see your music video. That's what I'm excited to see what you're going to wear for that.
Right. I got to put some thought into that one. We do have, with Blackstone, we have a video out that is on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. It's a little cover of a Miley Cyrus song. And then I'm very shy in that one. It's cute.
Which one? Which Miley Cyrus song?
Oh gosh, what is that called? Born to Run. Thank you. That's why she's my manager. Born to Run. Is that what it's called? I don't think so. But it's a Miley Cyrus song. I was born to run, I don't belong to Midnight Sky. For the love of God. It's called Midnight Sky.
Oh, okay.
Sparkle. I can't remember anything.
Oh, so we could look that up and find out. Oh, my.
Yes, that's also available on YouTube. Frank posted that on YouTube as well. And then we did a little work with Gwen Stefani. So we did No Doubt song, Don't Speak, another inspiration for my sister. So, yeah, we've been working on, breathing a little, our little life into some classic favorites. So
where's the furthest you've traveled with any of these bands?
Well, for the 8-piece is hard to just,
I can only imagine. I'm assuming it's just California, but how far are you willing to kind of go for weddings and different
couple hundred miles? Absolutely. If and I hate to sound like this, but if the money's right, it's all about the bottom line, right? I'd love to show up for $50 and some cocktails, but
of course.
No. Gas is expensive.
Oh yeah.
Plus, our guitarist in the Lady and the Tramps band, he lives in Mexico now. He retired and went down to Mexico with his gorgeous wife. So, if it makes sense for everyone, then we'll do it. Absolutely.
So who's been taking his spot?
He actually. Bob Lincoln, our angel, he will actually come up. He comes up for the gigs. He's only missed a couple. Yeah, it's amazing.
That's really cool.
He is our literal road dog.
Are you guys doing Christmas songs for these events in December?
For the unfortunately, no.
Actually, that's fine. I mean, I think that that's going to get Christmas out, so you're fine. That's
going to be a rock and roll Christmas event.
I'd like a few songs, but I think by that time people might get a little like
overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yes, since they started in October. Right? I agree. So no, we're going to keep it to the format and just leave it as is, because I need like 6 months to learn stuff. I'm the slow one in the bands. They're like, can you, I mean, really? And so...
It's more like being the perfectionist. You want to make sure you have it together,
I really do.
Right?
I really do. Because I am constantly surrounded with exquisite musicians. I mean, this town has so many unbelievable, gifted people. I mean, it's an honor to be in a lot of their presence. They're just amazing people and musicians. And it's very flattering that they've even asked me to be on board with them. So
what are some of like the more interesting gigs that you've done? I assume you guys have done a wedding with either band or
we've done, like I said, retirement parties. We haven't. Weddings isn't really a niche with the Lady and the Tramps because it's loud. You know, you can't. I'm screaming Guns N' Roses over your moose bouche. It just sometimes don't go. Right. So we love doing birthday parties. We've done a few corporate events, things like that. Just really, I'm sorry.
Tailgates?
Oh,
yeah.
For
Fresno
we
State?
have Fresno
Oh my
State.
goodness, I'd love to come out to that.
A company that hires us every year. It's amazing.
That's going to be the most poppin' tailgate if they have you there.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's my favorite tailgate out there.
AppCal's okay, cool.
It's a lot of fun. And
have you guys opened for acts before that have come locally, or it's always you're the main event?
So at AppCal, Darren Schmal's AppCal off of the Rockin' Ranch, he has these big cover bands that'll cover, you know, Bruno Mars, all these huge, beautiful names. We opened this year for the Bruno Mars tribute, and they were a lot of fun.
Oh, wow. What a great concert that must have been.
It was fun from start to finish. I was very flattered to be a part of that.
So you've gotten some big groups.
Because they have a hell of a following,
right.
Yeah. They were a lot of fun. But big names now. No, not yet.
So what was your experience like? I mean, like your day job and everything. Did you go to school for like music at all? Or, like,
no, I didn't. No, our parents owned a restaurant in the 90s, and then
Did you work there?
And 5 years after they opened the restaurant, the space became available next doors, and it was BB's Lounge for those of us young enough to remember that. And my mom, she wanted music. She was a music hound. She just any kind of music.
Where you got it from?
I swear to God. So she's just put in a karaoke bar, machine, and everyone else who was doing like once a week or twice a week, we did it 5 nights a week. And so she was our little Joe Jackson. We were her little Jackson. We were her Jackson 3, babe.
If you're running the karaoke, that's kind of messed up. That's a tough act to follow.
It really was. People would get mad. Like, really? You're Mike Hoggle?
Yeah,
no, I have a bully of a mom. My gorgeous mother's making me do it. Because Julie always joked. She's like, Frank Sinatra's mom had a bar. That's why he got discovered. So we're going to get you discovered. So
how fun.
Yeah, so a friend of mine, Adela, who owned Habano's up the street, one day she says, I'll duke it out with your mom later, but we got to get you in front of a live band. And so we went to an open mic one night, and before I left, I had formed my first band. And yeah, I've been in live music ever since. That was, I think, 16, 17 years ago. So it's been it's been a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I bet. So what are you going to sing for us today? And I love that you don't even need a band. Like, I could do it like this, I could do it like that. That's a real musician.
Like, what do you need from me? Nothing.
That's
just
awesome.
Well, like I said, I love Amy Winehouse. So let's give you a little Back to Black.
Love it. I'm down.
Okay. Sparkle, give me a ding, 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 ding. I'm horrible on the spot. He left no time to regret, kept hidden away with his same old safe bet. Can that be it? I get shy. I get shy. Thank you, darlings. Thank you.
What song do you not like to sing? Like if someone's asked for something that you're tired of it, or you're just not your jam?
Well, given that we had a karaoke bar for 15 years, If I hear Love Shack one more time, no disrespect to the B-52s.
It's just been over and
I will survive. It's like nails. And so when people say, okay. So it's like with a bated breath, I do it. But no, I love it all. I mean, there's so much music. It's tough to really get tired of any of them because you just put your own spin on it and it's a whole new song.
What was hard to learn? What was like that people came to you and said, can you, and you're like, ooh, I don't know that. Was there
I will not touch Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston.
Okay.
She can rest it. There's only one voice like that. I publicly humiliated myself trying a Houston song one time and I vowed.
Which one?
Oh my God, I have no idea.
I Will Always Love You. That song.
Oh no, the other one. I'm drawing a blank. I'm nervous. But yeah, I don't touch Houston. I don't touch Whitney or Mariah. There's certain things you just know you can't do. I can't do it, so I don't.
Oh, no,
so when it's
cool
gray
to stay in your, like,
and if it's loud, there I am.
I love that. What guy? So you said you do Sinatra and stuff. What guys do you like to do and not like to do?
Bruno Mars, I love the effect he has on a crowd, so I like singing his little jingles.
And that's hard. That's really cool that you pull that off.
Right? Because you got to like get on a treadmill and train the body to dance and sing at the same time. But trying to get out those AC/DC songs is getting a little more difficult as I get older, but I still do it, and I'm still louder every time. I can't talk for 3 days, but it's fine.
Oh my goodness.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all fun. It's all good.
Well, we're gonna hit you up on Instagram and everything else.
Do it,
and then
please.
I don't know why you guys aren't doing well. I still would want to have you guys. I think you guys have the best.
Perfect. Well, let's do it.
Are you also good about uploading the content on the social medias when you do sing so people get a little bit of the taste of how the band sounds together?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we do have a couple snippets from live shows and such.
I'll be live streaming on Sunday night.
Fabulous. I just sometimes, how you hear sometimes what you do. When I hear myself live and stuff, I'm like, that's what I sound like.
Oh, I don't like listening to myself.
You know what I'm saying? So it's that same thing, but everyone's like, oh my God, I saw the video, I loved it. I'm like, I'm glad you did, but there's plenty of content to be seen on both bands, Black Stone and Lady and the Tramps. Again, with Lady and the Tramps, so it's Lady and the Tramps Fresno, and then Blackstone, no see.
And I just want to go. I love that you dress up and do the whole thing. I don't think a lot of performers don't do that locally.
And I wish they did.
Me too. That's why I saw you. It's like I like the whole. We want to be in that space.
We're big. We're loud. We're entertainers.
Yeah, I want to know when I'm there. It's like I don't think of anything but what's in front of me. And you do that. So thank you for that.
So it's people are very forgiving if I don't hit the notes. Sometimes they're like, yeah, but did you see your shoes? Thank you.
Good point.
Thank you. Did you see her glasses? I know. So, yeah, I'm loud like this all the time.
Well,
Save Mart, the park, wherever.
Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thank you for having me,
I can't wait for Sunday night.
Happy Thanksgiving, Tom.
Happy Thanksgiving for you.
Thank you.
And everybody out there, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Turkey Day.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime, it felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh we are just stressed here, used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh I must confess dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you, and I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.
It's a mystery.
Hi, I'm Sparkle Sujan, and I am the host of the Everything Sparkle Show. I would like to invite you to come and hang out with me every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, as I interview the world one guest at a time. Everything Sparkle is available on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and CMAC.tv. Plus, if you're in the Central California area, you can watch on Comcast Xfinity Channel 93 or AT&T UVerse Channel 99. Hope to see you there.